Hi, how are you? In this episode, we are going to be looking at the use of language devices and their effect. i.g.c.s.e. English Language A. Students, what do you expect? What comes to your head when you hear the use of language? Uh, with me, in this video, I'm going to show you step by step on what language is and how different writers have used language or incorporated use of these particular small devices that make their work interesting and um, and purposeful for their intentions. Because when writers they do write, they do not just write simply because they can write a lot, because they want to maybe achieve certain specific effects on their readers. Okay, we're going to be looking at the writer's use of evidence and support after a certain device has been identified in the text. Now, the first use of a technique here or a device is fact. Fact. A fact is a piece of information that can be demonstrated here, can be demonstrated or to be true. Now, usually facts are used in this particular context here. Facts are used to demonstrate or emphasize a writer's point by providing evidence to support claims. For example, as well as nicotine, each cigarette contains more than 4,000 different chemicals, many of which are harmful to the body. It's a fact that is taken from one of the texts that maybe if you could have read, this is what exactly you could have come up with. And then uh, let's look at the model response on how do you comment on the same. The facts used in this article, they provide medical evidence that cigarettes are dangerous. The reference to 4,000 different chemicals is a fact that is designed to shock the reader. This makes the text more powerful. Good. Now, another device description is opinions. An opinion is an individual's own thoughts or beliefs. Like facts, opinions emphasize the point of the writer but make the message more personal rather than completely factual. For example, smoking is an awful habit and anyone who smokes stinks. A model response. By expressing the strong opinion that smoking is an awful habit and that anyone who smokes stinks, the writer makes the message more personal. He emphasizes the negative points of smoking and, of course, makes the reader feel almost obliged to have a response right there. Statistics right there. A statistics is the numerical data. Numerical data can be used like facts to emphasize and demonstrate the point of the writer. For example, right here, 9 out of 10 people voted against the proposal. Now, the statistics 9 out of 10 people here emphasizes the significant numbers opposing the development and lends weight to the argument that the building program should not go ahead. Anecdotes. Good example there of a device that is used. An anecdote is a mini story from personal experience about a person or incident. Anecdote is a mini story from a personal experience about a person or an incident. Now, it enhances the argument. It makes the text more personal and connects to the reader's experiences. For example, just yesterday, I was walking home from school when the writer describes her experiences with an anecdote, and I quote that anecdote right there, just yesterday she gives the text a very personal edge, and many of us can connect here with similar experiences of our own, which adds immediacy, of course, to the text. Quotations. Quotations right there. What are quotations? Quotations, these are the evidence from a source, and in non-fiction writing, often an expert source rather. Again, evidence or quotations and evidence from source, and in non-fiction writing, often an expert source. It can create added authority to make the text more convincing. It adds credibility to an argument. For example, animal research expert Martin Davis said, "All the evidence from our studies point to the fact that elephants could be extinct in 20 years if nothing is done to prevent tusk hunting." Now, the model response. The study stating that elephants could be extinct in 20 years is convincing because we know it is given by an animals research expert. Very convincing because we know it's given by an animal research expert. And this helps the article persuade us that something needs to be done since the evidence is being provided by an expert in the field. Formal voice. Formal voice. We use formal language in situations that are serious or that involve people that we do not know well. Formal language is more common when the writer, when we write, in fact, when we write, point of correction right there. There are also examples where spoken English can be very formal, for example, in a speech or a lecture. This makes a text, the use of formal language makes a text seem more authoritative with more power of persuasion. For example, after reading an article about the frightening increase in transit rates in Britain, I feel compelled to offer my views on the subject. I was shocked and surprised at all the astoundingly high numbers of students who truant every year. The use of formal voice, that is a model response in your response. The use of formal voice in this letter gives it an authoritative tone. The word compelled makes the reader aware of the seriousness of the writer's intention. The phrase astoundingly high is a formal expression which maintains the serious tone.